Hi, I'm Addison, the little girl from Nevada City with scoliosis. And today I wanted to show you guys a few signs of how to detect scoliosis. So let's get started. So this is my mom, Tina.
Hello, I'm Tina and I'm Addison's proud mama, and we found out that Addison had scoliosis 9 months ago in August of 2017. And we had no idea what scoliosis was. We didn't know that we should check for it or have it checked. Their funding no longer allows checking in all grades at public schools in California, so it is important to spread this awareness on how to check your child for scoliosis. Addison's curve started out at 34 degrees, which is pretty curved. It was an S curve, and we had no idea that she had scoliosis.
No idea.
She didn't walk different. She had zero pain. Her posture to us was fine. Not until they pointed out that there was a curve did I see the curve in her back. But even when she takes showers with her long hair, we didn't notice it. So scoliosis is something that can be happening and developing in a child's body, and lots of people don't discover it until it's severe. So we wanted to help raise awareness and show you how to check your children for scoliosis.
Good posture.
Good posture in our family, always standing tall. And one thing to note is that scoliosis in most cases has a common root cause of nerve tension, and it has to do with the spinal cord not being as long as the spine. And for this reason, scoliosis in children happens rapidly and grows rapidly in between the ages of around 9 to 14, which is when children are going through puberty and having growth spurts where their spine is growing but their spinal cord is not catching up with the growth, so the tension holds down the spine and all it can do is curve. So for us,
you could go straight.
Or you could go straight. Positive thinking in our family. Straight as an arrow, tall as a redwood tree. So we're going to get started with showing you a couple tips on how to check your children for scoliosis. And you do check for both boys and girls, but scoliosis for some unknown reason is more common in girls. So, and another thing to note is if you have a 9-year-old and you check for scoliosis and nothing is happening, it doesn't mean you're free of it. I would check regularly because some people that are 12 years old are just starting to develop scoliosis, and it can still be severe even starting at that age. So why don't you point out a few of the first things?
So number one, your head could be not centered with your body, like this, for instance, or your head's to one side or something like that. Mine is pretty straight.
Yes. And we've been doing an alternative non-surgical treatment with Addison. We have a stretching chair, a tethering chair. We have a brace that we wear all around the clock. We do spinal weighting, core exercises. She spends about an hour or so a day stretching frame for her neck. So we are tackling this as a condition that we can fix with the right equipment. And we're very thankful for the doctors at the Scoliosis Care Center down in Campbell, California for giving us the tools to help correct scoliosis. Addison's curve is holding in a straight position, and we're just going to continue to hold that position until her spine is fully grown, and then the tension will be relieved and we'll continue to hold that position. So another thing that you can think of is, are her shoulders straight? So if your child's shoulders, one is drooping down, that could be the thoracic curve, which is up here, is starting to form.
Cervical, thoracic, and lumbar.
She knows more than me.
Cervical,
We have learned
thoracic,
lots.
lumbar.
And curves can go in an S shape, and then they can also go
Forwards or in derotation.
yes, and there's rotations in the spine as well. So scoliosis gets pretty complicated. So another sign is the shoulders, and then there's also one called the arm gap. So when you naturally stand, you can see on me, there's an equal distance from the hip waistline to your arm. In a scoliosis patient, you would have a bigger gap on one side than the other. And I could say scoliosis patient because we're used to saying that, but in a child who has scoliosis, you would notice an arm gap is different. So that's another thing. So in the doctor's office, if you go for a checkup, be sure to ask your doctor to check your child for scoliosis. And one of the things they'll do is they'll turn around and have the child bend forward. And when you bend forward, you're letting your head hang, your shoulders are still above the hips, your arms are fully just relaxed over. So you can see here, Addison's back is pretty flat because we're so stretched nicely stretched from her equipment. But in a scoliosis patient, sorry, I keep saying patient, in a scoliosis case, one side of the rib cage would be humped and one side would not. So the tension gets, more tension develops when you bend over because the spine is stretched and the spinal cord is stretched even more. So it may not be humped when you're standing, but when you bend over, one side humps. They use a device called a scoliometer, and they'll lay it on their back. And Addison's is even. If somebody was developing scoliosis, it would be curved and one side would be humped. Addison started at a 7, which equaled the 34-degree curve. So, and it was slight. It was just like this, but some can be severe. So the easiest way is to have your child bend over and see if part of their back humps up. Another thing you can notice is just looking at the spine. Is there a curve in the spine? Like Addison said, this is the what? Cervical, thoracic, and lumbar. So some people might have just curves up in the upper neck area. Some people have their most severe curves down in the lumbar area. Addison has a little bit of a curve in her neck here.
That's my biggest curve.
That's her biggest curve now, that's at 20 degrees. And so you can see Addison had a pretty big curve and I didn't see it. So it's not easily detected. One really good detection is also to look at the shoulder blades. So you can see Addison's shoulder blades are fairly even. If you move a little closer to the camera and then relax. So Addison's are pretty even right here. When we started treatment, they were off because of the curve, and they're way off, like they were way pitched off. So these should be even if you have no curve. If there's any unevenness there may be something going on with that.
Also,
what else?
One hip could be higher than the other, for instance, like mine are pretty even.
Yep.
And then one could be higher.
Yep. And then also, what's another sign?
Pain. If you're complaining or tired.
Not able to sit at school all day. Some children could start complaining about pain. And unfortunately, scoliosis sometimes isn't detected until there's pain, which then it could be severe. So pain is down the line in scoliosis, but it's also something that the child could be complaining about that would be definitely worth alerting the doctors and going to an appointment. So we're really thankful for discovering a non-surgical treatment for Addison, and we're having success with it so far. We're almost to our 1-year checkup, and we're very thankful for all the community and support that we've had from friends and family and our community reaching out and helping to support us in standing tall. And Addison's so brave, you're my hero, and we just really feel the need to share this information because we didn't know anything about scoliosis, and I feel like people do need to know, and somebody you may know needs to know this information, so please share.
Please help us and share it with your friends, and we'll see you guys next time.
All
Bye!
right. Bye-bye.